Internal emotional balance. The ring that the Earth belongs to is known by its features. The assembly is performed for a specific egregor task. Each element can be changed because it doesn't have any life value. After performing the task, all the system disintegrates and new assembly materializes. Now is the time of ending of one of the tasks. In addition, the solar system follows a low energy area. As the sun and the elements, planets, of its system enter it, there is a lack of energy, which the egregor needs to compensate for. As you enter the area, the amount of compensation increases. Wars, economic and politic problems. One of the indicators that reports what's happening. A human must supply the system with the energy. This is the main thesis of the system of oppressed light. Energy supply is defined as a duty, obligation, necessity, desire, etc. Volume supplies depends on the loss which the egregor carries. With significant losses, the need for support, work, in relation to the egregor increases. A person should forget about hobbies, interests, and thoughts. It is necessary to perform a strict working algorithm, better in mechanical mode. At the same time, it affects the Earth. There were more than one such periods on it. Intelligent beings were also different. But there is one common feature: they all gave way to others. This means that the completion of improvements comes sooner or later under the influence of different circumstances. In any case, this is the result. The continuation can take place both here and elsewhere. The planet reports about upcoming changes with the events that people can fixate. Balance is now achievable for those who, as said, have woken up. This can help to reach the horizon of the sphere and have a look beyond it. The outer point allows to see and comprehend what happens to the extent of the cognition of a realizing. The measure of cognition is determined by spiritual level that is achieved by any human at this moment. Let us repeat that Slav sedma can be taken as the gradation. It characterizes more exactly the degree of human development. The balance is formed on the base of the ability to connect the points of state, their own and others, in the system of individual understanding and general awareness. This allows you to see the real picture of what is happening. That is what your sensors report you, but not just someone else's. Be careful with general information media, there are a lot of lies. Then you need to go beyond the horizon of near and distant events. In a third-party position, you will see what is hidden by events. As a rule, there is something more important beyond that is happening, something that will have a direct impact on the living environment and on the person. There are no enemies for a human until he determines them for himself. An enemy is that one who, interrupts following the life vector against the will of the person. The enemy is not always such. This may be a necessary change, a stop during which additional awareness is required. The real enemy is that which, who, deliberately deprives a person of life force. In this way, karma is formed, a spatial node of an unfulfilled task, which other souls from the ancestral capsule are directed to solve, and thus its depletion occurs. A human confidence is based on understanding and knowledge which he formed by himself. You need to do it even now in difficult time of a change. In this case, the analogy applies to a person swimming in the current or just following it. As it has been said in New Revelation, the life environment is in a union with a human as long as he adequately perceives and studies it. In alternative study and change, it becomes hostile. Emotional balance: a person's reaction to the environment in the systems of mental and physical perception. Emotions are characterized by the expression of states of mind and body, i.e. they are primary in relation to consciousness. Emotions are based on contact with the first wave of associations that consciousness uses in cognition of the environment. The first wave of associations is the contour of the external field of a person who first comes into contact with an unknown field, a concept. As a rule, emotions perform the organizational function of contact. A violation of emotional balance leads to a primary destructive contact, that is, incorrect, substituted, primary links are set. then the emotions will report the wrong connection more and more actively as the connection becomes stronger. To prevent this from happening, it is necessary to understand and realize without forcing the connection of points. Some resulting output for the situation, people began to associate, but do not know what to connect, because there is no experience in the training system. Feelings report about wrong connections that people should avoid, but which strengthen under pressure. There is no, or very little, time to study, understanding what is happening. There are few people who are able to enter into a dialogue and support it. Having outlined the conclusions, we answered the question of what needs to be done.